Thank you very much. Well, also on the line is Julie Lenarz, who's Executive Director of the Foreign Policy think tank, the Human Security Centre, and she's on the line from Cologne. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Stefan Meyer obviously, is part of the governing coalition in Germany and is urging everyone to keep a cool head. What do you think are the implications of this?
Well, I think if it turns out to be a refugee from either Afghanistan or Pakistan, this will take a very political dimension, obviously. Let's remember this was not the first time a terrorist attack was linked to refugees in the country this year. We've also had Würzburg, we had the attack in Ansbach, and we also had a planned attack in Düsseldorf, actually, where apparently 10 members of Islamic State planned a horrific attack on the city, and we just got lucky and caught it in time. And that really tells you everything you need to know. You know, these people, they need to be lucky once, and we need to be lucky all the time. So it's very difficult to prevent these attacks, and I think we will probably see more of that in Germany as well.
So a political dimension, but to the extent that it could cost Angela Merkel the election?
Well, I'm not sure it could cost her the election, but it will certainly put a lot of pressure on the government. And by the way, not just from other parties, but also from within her own coalition and her own party. I mean, let's not forget that she's been under a lot of pressure also from the CDU's coalition partner CSU in Bavaria. They've been very critical of the Chancellor's policies. And I'm not just talking, by the way, about people who are categorically opposed to taking in refugees, but also people who realize that despite we have a humanitarian duty to help these people who've suffered tremendously in their countries, that obviously if you take in a large number of people without proper registration and all of that, that you're taking enormous risks. And I think the Chancellor needs to address these concerns.
Well, and in fact, the State Department alerted US citizens in the last few weeks to the heightened risks of terrorist attacks in Europe, particularly during the holiday season, and urging them to exercise particular caution at holiday festivals, events, and outdoor markets. To what extent have these sorts of markets been policed more this year than in the past?
I think you've seen a lot of police on the streets everywhere. I mean, the Islamic State has made very clear its intention to carry out attacks across Europe, particularly during the Christmas period, and particular in places such as the Christmas market. So authorities already responded to that, and in that sense, it sort of suggests that the terrorists already won a little bit of that battle, really, because they're taking away more and more of our freedoms. Christmas markets have always been a lovely tradition, where people go and have fun with their friends and have a great time and don't worry about the world for a bit. And now you have armed police running around everywhere, and still people are getting killed. And I think that will have a long-term impact on society, and will probably cause a lot of distress and pain and sorrow, and also resentment.
Julie Lenarz, thank you. And just to recap on what